Okay, here's what we're starting with. We're going to start putting our stripping down. We're going to put 2x4s basically every 2 foot on center all the way up this thing, so we can put our tin on top of that. We're going to put our tin up on top of it, and the reason we do that is for basically a heat shield. If the tin's up here and it gets hot, that it won't transfer to our decking as fast. So we want to keep that thing up to keep airflow underneath it, or not basically airflow, but an air cavity, which basically gives you insulation. We did it on another building over there, and it's working excellently. Plus, it gives us a good screwing surface too. But we're getting ready to start putting them down. They're starting to work them there. They're going to start from that end and come this way, and just go right along this edge, then go up 2 foot, and then go up 2 foot, and go up 2 foot, all the way up it. We do have to cut all that stuff off because it's at a ramp there, and we can't get our 2x4s over far enough to be able to attach our tin. We want our tin all the way up against that wall as close as we can get it, so we can step flash it easy. We don't want a 6, 8, 10 inch step flash coming way out here and trying to flash out. We want it tight up against that wall so we can keep our flashing underneath their flashing. See, they're flashing now. We want to stay under that, come down, and you'll see that in a later video. But anyway, we've got to get rid of all that, and that's why we're getting rid of it, so we can get the tin back over that way. That's going to hold us out at least a foot on each side if we don't cut that out. So we're going to have to cut it out and split it up through there, and that's what they're going to do next. So here you can see what we're 2 foot. We're screwing it every 6 inches. So you got one there, one there, you got one here, one here, one there. So we're screwing it like crazy. If you only put a couple screws in this stuff, there's no reason to do it, because if the wind gets underneath it, it's going to rip your 2x and all up. So you need to screw the hell out of it to make sure that's right. They're trying to make a jig up, and they got it a little over. We'll watch them argue about who's right and who's wrong on the jig. Well, come on. Evidently the jig was right.
Tienes que ponerle en medio de los dos porque los dos pegas ahí.
Everything the first couple hours is learning. I'm the one. He did another one for me, basically the same exact thing, but it was about it's 10 times bigger. So he kind of knows what's going on. So in tornado, kind of knows what's going on there. So.
No en el centro, no en el centro, no en el centro. Es en las orillas. Porque cuando vas a meter el tornillo de la lámina va a quedar en el centro y va a topar al tornillo.
He's telling him don't screw in the middle. You see, he screwed off the Our plan is when we put our tin on top, we're going to hit dead center of that board. We're trying to keep the screws out of the center of these boards just in case, so we can hit the center. We're using a wider board, so if we drift a little bit, we're fine. But usually what we do, we tag that corner over there and put a string line all the way across in the center of it, and then we can exactly center of the board, so we come across it that way. But we put twice as many screws in the 2x4s as we do as the 10, but we want these 2x4s not to go anywhere. We want you to have to rip the 10 off. Rip the screws out of the 10 before the 10 comes off. So, yeah, he's putting it in at an angle down here on the bottom. That's the way to do it. Keep it tight, keep it right. Yeah, if you see over there, he's cutting back. Cutting back they got a board down on 45, so there's no 90. You don't really want 90 degrees on the roof. That's hard to keep water out. So you make 45s, it makes it easier. The water's always rolling, it can't get hung up in the corner. But obviously, you know, we're changing it. We'll get you more when I decide to get up on there, but I might not get up on there, not today. See there, he's ripping it out. But we're getting it. These, well, I done told you that, but we're using those as spacers. They don't stay in there. But what we will do, we will run a 2x6 all the way up the edge of it. All the way down here. We'll run a 2x6, so we get 6 inches out on it. Okay, we're starting to ease on along here. Get on up the roof a little bit. We're doing all this with batteries too. We ain't even trying to pull the power out. I mean, I got power, but we're using batteries. We prefer batteries over power now. So obviously we're using power to charge the batteries, but we've done all this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We put in 20 feet or 22 feet worth of this strapping, screwing them down every 6 inches, and we haven't killed a battery yet. Now we've got one in the skill saw, one in the drill, one in the blower, and an extra one laying over there, and none of them's killed anything yet. So we made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Made at least 10 cuts, which ain't that many. They might have made 20 cuts, but I think it's only been 10 cuts in 2x4s, and then it's the battery. They've put in probably 250 3.5 inch screws. Ain't killed a battery, so they're doing pretty good so far. That's why I like this stuff. We can work about all day with 3-inch screws and not kill a 5-amp battery. So, you know, it's pretty good. Okay, we're up 22 foot. Now they got to cut back some more at 45, like I told you. That board that's on an angle, they cut that side way up there. I can't see in my viewfinder, but somewhere right through there. Over here, they got to get to the same spot and then they'll lay out more 2x4s. And when they're laying tar paper in there, you can see it over there. Just in case. It ain't gonna help much, but it will be some. It will give us some protection there. That tar paper laying, you know, running up the valley. I guess that's classified the valley. We got the trailer sitting down there, so we're throwing everything into there. That strapper pulling it loose. getting it ready. So we should be pretty good here in a little bit. We'll get all these 2x4s laid today, and we're gonna have to come back and level them up. Basically, we're gonna make sure from this 2x4 to that 2x4 to that 2x4, there's no gaps under them. So when we screw our metal down, we don't want a bunch of waves in it. It won't really hurt us that much if it was wavy, but it don't look good. So we'll lay some 2x4s long ways up this thing and slide them across back and forth and find out what's low. Like, I'm sure there's a belly right there, just a little tiny belly, maybe an inch between, say, here, well, yeah, between about here and there. There's a belly right there in it, which ain't no problem. I'm gonna straighten it. I'll just add basically washer in there of a piece of plywood or a 1x, or if I have to, I'll go over on the table saw and custom make something to go on top of that 2x4 to make sure it's flat across there. We've got some 4x4s over there I can cut down, you know, if I need 1/4 inch or 3/8 of an inch or whatever. I can cut basically shims out of them, and it'll be the same thickness as these 2x4s, or same width of these 2x4s, so we can stick them right on top of them, nail them in. And our screws that go in the tin will go all the way through the tin and all the way through this 2x4 into the substrate, so we won't have to worry about the basically the washer, because when we screw down through it, it's going to go all the way through it, plus all the way through that 2x4. So we'll have plenty, even if it's, say, an inch long, we'll still have plenty. I mean, an inch tall, we'll still have plenty. We could go up to probably 1.5 inches thick and still be fine. But if we start getting 1.5 inches, you know, thickness, I'll put more longer screws in it to make sure it's tight and good before I put my other screws in, if that makes any sense. And we'll do that all the way up through here. If it's got any bellies in it, we'll flatten them out all the way up, and it'll look good when it's all said and done. You won't see any type of belly or imperfection in it. And like I said, we did the same thing in the other one. You got to make sure it's all running downhill. You don't want no real flat spot, and it's got a pretty good slope on it. I mean, it's not flat by no means. And a lot of people are doing metal here, right on the other side of this building. There's about 5 under one that's all metal, and then they just put metal on the next one, and then the next 3 are mine, and they all got metal on. And then across the street they got metal, then that one I just put shingles on, then metal, then another one like this, then two more metals, then 2 more like this. They're figuring out this ain't the way to go. Everybody's switching away from it. On the other side of me down there, they put rubber, which rubber's a good alternative, but it's expensive, and it gets damaged easy. So, but anyway, we'll catch you here in a few. Okay, we found a little more rock there. They're cutting it out and replacing it. Here's how these buildings are built. They got a beam down there that goes into a brick pocket. Basically a hole in the brick that's cut out, that's chiseled out. The beam goes right in there. It's usually a 2x10 in this particular town. It's a true 2x10, so you can't buy an 1 by 9.5 because that don't work. I mean, 1.5 inches by 9.5, that don't work. So you go to sawmill, have them make a 2x10, stick it in the brick pocket, go halfway across onto that beam like we've got in there. It's 2x10 down there. It goes into a brick pocket that's made up to an actual 2x10. Then they make a little hip wall there. As you can see, it's right here is 12 inches, maybe 12, 13 inches. And then they lay another board down flat, and then you build like another deck on top of that. So this water running down this chimney, nobody's flashed it correctly, and it's just running in, running over, and it's rotting this out. So that's what we're dealing with. We're gonna fix it. We're gonna fix that little hole. At the time, they had a stovepipe in there that went all the way through, where they wasn't using this chimney, they was using that stove. And this chimney works. This chimney here works for both buildings. Half the chimney goes to that building, half the chimney goes to this building. So there's double flues basically that comes all the way up. But we're fixing to fix this and tar paper it and keep going with our strapping. We had to cut these 1x4s out. You see, like here, they just gobbed it on there, 1.5 inches thick. I mean, that's that thick. But anyway, so that 1x4 is what we're after. That 1x4 there sitting on 45, that's what we're trying to get out. Because right now we'd have to stop our 10 here to do anything. We want our 10 over here, so we're going to lose, what is that, 10 inches maybe? 10 inches across there, and that's unacceptable. So that's what we're tearing off, so we can get this all the way back over against the wall. And we're doing it on both sides, all the way over.